Motherfucker. I completely forgot to enable the sound of the video I was commenting on before I started recording, so the only thing you heard was my beautiful voice without the context of the sound coming from the video. So I have to re-record this thing again, and hello my beautiful degenerates, and I'm gonna have to explain everything again. Was supposed to be making a new video every week, but due to recent problems with the stupid engineer in the stupid shithole I'm currently stuck at, I can't really do it because, well, the house isn't finished. And the guy is a complete fucking lazy bastard. Anyway, moving on, that is explained, and I'm really getting tired of repeating myself, but here I am. Anyway, here's the video. This is from the meme general, Senator Mike Lee, a Republican from Utah. You're going to see why he is the meme general. He really went all the way and made an epic explanation of why the Green New Deal is bullshit.
The picture of former President Ronald Reagan naturally firing a machine gun while riding on the back of a dinosaur. You'll notice a couple of important features.
Actually, that's a raptor. The design is based on Jurassic Park, and the actual raptor itself will be probably not as tall as his legs. Probably, thereabouts, and it should be full of feathers. And another thing that's quite important for you to notice is the blonde. She is doing a perfect job. I mean, much better than I did since the first and second time I watched this video. Because I tend to laugh, because that's how epic it is. And she keeps holding herself. Sometimes you can see her slip a little, but she holds herself well. It's like she's trying to control it, but sometimes she lets a little slip. I would have lost it.
Here. First of all, the rocket launcher.
It's Russian.
President Reagan's back, and then the unmistakable patriotism of.
Because I believe that rocket launcher was stolen from the hands of a fucking communist before being shot.
The velociraptor holding up a tattered American flag.
America!
Of all it means to be an American.
Damn, I wish I was American.
Critics might quibble with this depiction of the climactic battle of the Cold War, because while awesome, in real life there was no climactic battle. There was no battle with or without velociraptors.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cold War, as we
That
all
was
know,
a shame.
Was won without firing a shot.
We really needed a battle of velociraptors, but on that one, in the last bit, he said that the war was won without firing a shot, and he's entirely correct. Because Russia was technically, well, Soviet Union, whatever, wasn't really that doing so well. They had the communism, and communism was killing the country, especially because of they kept doing genocides and murdering people over and over and over, and that affects the industry. But the most important bit is that communism doesn't work. Then you have Russia getting pwned with American equipment. In Afghanistan, they really suffered, and there's a catchphrase called the Stinger effect, and that's because of the shoulder-fired rocket that attacked the Russian planes and helicopters that came from America. This was actual response American response based on what the Americans had to deal with elsewhere in the world, trying to stop communists, because Russia kept funding them and sending arms. For example, in Latin America and Africa and Asia, they kept sending weapons and arms and funding, and that costed a lot of lives. And America decided to pay up the Russians with their own coin, and that's how Russia suffered greatly in Afghanistan, and why Russia collapsed. And quite frankly, kind of worked, because if they didn't suffer such a very crippling defeat in Afghanistan, the Cold War would have lasted much longer, and I don't know how many people would have been killed by then. Either way. Oh, and then there's also the question of the Russian equipment being kind of subpar compared to alternatives in the Western Hemisphere. For example, the missiles, the heat-seeking missiles of the Russians were actually based on the Sidewinders. I think it was AIM-9A or AIM-9B that the Taiwanese shot at against the MiG-15s from China. But the missile failed to explode. Those early missiles were really quite finicky, and they failed to explode, so it got stuck on the tail of the MiG-15. The Chinese decided to then try to extract it and call the Russians too. So the Russians went there, took it out, and reverse engineered it. That's where it came the Atoll missile. And there's another thing too. For example, they really didn't value their soldiers' lives. So, for example, tanks were really could barely offer any protection to the crew inside. Only the later versions of, I think, T-72 that started to have protection from nuclear fallout and other stuff. Anyway, and they also stole the nuclear triggers, which gave it to Pakistan and China and India. That's how they got the nukes, because they stole it from America. That's how bad the Soviet Union was.
But that quibble actually serves our purposes here today, Mr. President, because this image has as much to do with overcoming communism in the 20th century as the Green New Deal has to do with overcoming climate change.
Oh my god! So it's true that image really overcame communism. Quoting a supposed out-left. That's what they would say. Because they actually believe the Green New Deal to be, I don't know, it's a retarded deal. But they actually do believe in it.
In the 21st. The aspirations of the proposal have been called radical. They've been called extreme. But mostly, they're ridiculous.
I agree.
There isn't a single serious idea here.
I agree. There's only retarded ideas.
Let me highlight two of the most prominent goals produced by the plan's authors. Goal number one, the Green New Deal calls essentially for the elimination of airplanes.
Yeah, that was it. Literally retarded.
Merely ambitious for politicians who represent the densely populated northeastern United States.
Yeah.
But how is it supposed to work for our fellow citizens who don't live somewhere between Washington, D.C. and Boston?
Mm-hmm.
In a future without...
Yeah, because usually these people live or congregate on high urban areas, and thus they don't usually need transportation, for example, from somewhere empty with... Because these people really have no clue, so they don't really need airplanes to go to one place or the other. For example, if suppose you live in Utah, well, as an example, and you have to go to Boston, holy hell, you need an airplane, or you're gonna take days to get there, even by train. It's just really not feasible. And these liberals, these people really are clueless because they think everyone has money, and that's why they want to tax everybody, especially the richer or those who work harder to earn more, So they really completely disconnected to the people, to the actual people who are poor or the working average Joe. They are completely disconnected from that reality. For example, even vegans, which usually are, well, retarded out left, they really have no clue. For example, meat is a really necessary requirement for our diet, but I digress. Let's move on.
Air travel. How are we supposed to get around the vast expanses of, say, Alaska during the winter?
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you how.
Like I explained it.
Tauntauns, Mr. President.
Oh yes, exactly. That's the best one.
This is a beloved species of reptile mammals, native
That works.
to the ice planet.
That works. That works.
Well, perhaps not as efficient in some ways.
Well,
as
yeah.
airplanes or as snowmobiles. These hairy bipedal.
But it works. But there's a downside. There's no stewardesses, or you won't be able to get a whiskey in there on a flight or a nice drink. The only thing I'm gonna get it's a lot of shit and farts. Yeah, because contrary to what he will say, remember, third time I'm watching this, those things are really not that carbon neutral. They fart a lot.
Species of space lizards offer their own unique benefits. Not only are tauntauns carbon neutral,
There you go.
but according to a report a long time ago and issued far, far away, they may even be fully recyclable and usable for their warmth, especially on a cold night.
Mike, you went all the way, and this is just perfect. The Lord is perfect. It's the third time, and they still laugh.
What about Hawaii? Isolated, 2,000 miles out the Pacific Ocean. Under the Green New Deal's effective airplane prohibition, how are people there supposed to get to and from the mainland?
Exactly. How?
And how are they supposed to maintain that significant portion of their economy that's based on tourism?
Exactly.
At that distance, swimming would, of course, be out of the question.
Yeah, unless you're an athlete. But then again, I don't think anyone has managed to swim that far.
And jet skis are notorious gas guzzlers.
Yeah.
No. All
Don't tell that to Alexandria. She actually did use vehicles, gas-guzzling vehicles, to leave work.
residents of Hawaii would be left with is this.
Yeah.
This is a picture
Seahorses.
of Aquaman, a superhero from the undersea kingdom of Atlantis.
And I think it works perfectly too. Seahorses, you know, I think it's a perfect method of locomotion. You could really carry probably two people in there. It's probably not that comfortable. You're gonna get wet. You're gonna have to get your carry-on on another seahorse though. And it's probably, you need to make it waterproof. But another thing, there's no bathroom. You're gonna have to shit on the ocean, and you're probably gonna get shit on other people, especially the other seahorses that will probably be traveling with you, and gonna get a lot of shit on everyone's faces. Imagine if you're sleeping and suddenly you kinda fall or kinda lose your balance and you kind of fall in water and you drink someone else's shit. That's a problem. But there's an upside of this. Let's wait and hear Mike Lee say it.
And but notably here, a founding member of the Super Friends. I draw
Seaman. Oh, sorry. Aquaman.
your attention, Mr. President, to the 20-foot impressive seahorse he's
It's
riding.
impressive. Really.
Under the Green New Deal, this is probably Hawaii's best bet.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm the first to admit.
There will be sailing ships, but those will take, well, days to get to America, mainland America. So yeah, seahorses, that would work. And with sailing, you actually have to depend on the wind and the strength, so it'll take probably longer or less. Definitely seahorses. Seahorses is really the best option for Hawaii.
That a massive fleet of giant, highly trained seahorses would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. That's the upside. That's the upside I mentioned. A fleet of oversized seahorses. Whoa, that would be epic. I would pay money to see that. Probably not the shit and the shit streaming coming out, but I would. Really, that's epic. I wonder if I'll be able to ride one.
It would be really, really awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
But we have to
really awesome.
Consider a few things.
Yeah.
We have no idea about scalability
Yeah.
or domestic capacity. And
stop shitting on my dreams, even though it's a one-day dream, but you're still shitting on my dreams. Bad on you, Mike. Bad on you.
This sector. The last thing we want is to ban all airplanes.
Yeah.
And only then find out that China or Russia may have already established strategic hippocampus programs.
Yeah, that's a problem. We really need to go to war for this.
Designed to cut the United States out of the global market.
Yeah, exactly. We can't have it. There should be war.
Mr. President, we must not allow and cannot tolerate a giant seahorse gap.
Exactly.
Goal number 2.
We need to go to war for this. We need to stop them now before it gets worse.
The elimination of all cows. Talking points released by the sponsors of the resolution the day it was introduced cited the goal of, quote, fully getting rid of, and I'll paraphrase a little bit here, flatulating cows. Now, Mr. President, I share their concern. But
yeah, they
honestly,
stink a lot.
You've got to remember that if they think the cows smell bad, just wait till they get a whiff of the seahorses.
Exactly. Oh my god, a fleet of seahorses traveling from Hawaii to mainland America, then mainland America to Hawaii. Imagine the quantity of shit everywhere. Holy fuck. Oh no. It's gonna make the world worse. It's gonna make the Green New Deal even more carbon positive.
But back to the cattle. I've got a chart to illustrate this trend.
Yeah.
As you can see, Mr. President, on the left...
You should have added a bit of out left on the left. You know, because they are capable, like the bovines, of a lot of excrement.
These little cows...
Get it?
Represent
Bullshit. Oh,
the bovine population of America today. On the right is the future population under the Green New Deal.
Yeah, exactly.
We would go from about 94 million cows to 0 cows. No more milk.
Now comes the sad bit. That really got me bummed out.
No more cheese.
No cheese! How can you do that? Whoever says that we shouldn't have any cheese should die. Kill yourself. Damn it. No, actually don't do it. Really don't do it. This is just a joke. For the retarded, but then again, you're probably so retarded you're not gonna watch this bit saying that that was a joke. And you're gonna misquote me or somewhere else. That's so bad. You're retarded anyway and you're not gonna listen. So, retard! Retard!
No more steak. No more hamburgers.
No hamburgers! No, don't do that. I need my burgers. Even though I can only eat very little of it. Depending on the size, probably 1. But it has to be tiny. But no burgers.
Over the state work period last week, I visited
no
some farms
cheese.
to find out for myself what Utah's own bovine community might think of the Green New Deal. Every cow I spoke to said the same thing. Boo.
Boo. Yeah, he's right. That's what calls will say if you're gonna exterminate. But as you can see, the blonde is handling this much better than I am, even on my third watch.
The authors of this proposal will protest that these goals are not actually part of the Green New Deal, but were merely included in supporting documents, accidentally sent out by the office of the lead sponsor in the House of Representatives. But, Mr. President, this only makes my point.
Yeah, they are too
The supporters
stupid.
of the Green New Deal want Americans to trust them, to reorganize our entire society,
Yeah,
our
but they
entire
can't do it.
economy, to restructure our very way of life.
But don't worry, they probably eliminate the entire government first before they actually do anything. Because they are that stupid and they can't have dissenting opinions.
When they couldn't even figure out how to send out the right press release.
Exactly. Computers are too complicated. Let's use a Mac.
The Green New Deal is not a serious policy document because it's not
a
a policy
retarded
document at all.
It's a retarded
It
document.
is, in fact, an aesthetic one.
Yeah, he's absolutely right.
The resolution is not an agenda of solutions.
It's gonna rain
It's a
soon.
token of elite tribal identity.
Yeah, he is repeating exactly what I said just at the beginning. It's the outlet is completely disconnected with reality, with the reality of the people, the common folk, the average Joe. They're completely and utterly disconnected. They really have no clue what happens. They think everyone can afford everything. They think that everyone has money. And, or in this case, oh, everyone is so poor, let's give them handouts, government handouts. They actually even think the government has enough money to hand it out freely to anyone. That's not true, because the government is funded by its people. And once you run out of the money on the government, you run out of other people's money, and then you are broke. Just look at Venezuela, Cuba, Soviet Union, China. Well, China before it went adapted a little bit of capitalism, North Korea and other communist shitholes.
And endorsing it
Bolivia.
a public act of piety for the chic and woke.
Yeah, exactly. Only the
And on
woke
those embarrassing
eats
terms,
that.
it is already a resounding success.
Yeah.
No Utah.
Oh, and by the way, this chart here, this quote, and well, this chart, it's actually a good representation of a cow and its carbon footprint. You have a cow and the shit on it, you know.
Used to hear pious lectures about the gravity of climate change from politicians from other states. For it was only in 2016, as viewers of the Sci-Fi Network will well remember,
Yeah, that was a
when
tragic.
climate change hit home in Utah, when our own state
Yeah.
was struck not simply by a tornado, Mr.
Yeah.
President, but by a tornado with sharks in it.
Exactly, climate change is a real thing. Well, actually it is, but in this case, the climate change, the Green New Deal will try to really solve a problem like this. Tornadoes made of sharks. Sharknado. Really, we don't need that in the world. And those pictures are actually from the documentary that got it from real footage of a hero battling them.
These images are
Look
from
at them
the
long.
indispensable documentary film
She's good.
Sharknado 4. You ever heard
I
of
admire her. I
bravely
wish I could
animal author,
do.
the tennis
Wish I could do. I don't know. Her technique, or how she does this without laughing, because even at that time I'm still having difficulty controlling myself. But she's doing it perfectly. Well, almost perfectly, but I wish I could do what she does.
packet that he keeps by his desk precisely for occasions such as this. So let's be really clear, Mr. President.
Yeah,
Climate change is no joke,
that guy is a hero.
but the Green New Deal is a joke.
Yeah, I agree. The Green New Deal is a huge joke. Oops, sorry. Well, production values. You know, production values with me here, it's perfect. There's no mistakes. Everything here is as intended. I make no mistakes, really. This is as intended. Yeah, well, this ends this video, and really, what Mike Lee did, this was awesome. I really commend the guy. He really went all out there. This was epic. This is probably the best video of a government discussion in Senate or Congress or House or whatever that I've ever seen. This was amazing. Really, Mike Lee, I salute you. This was epic. You've given me, like, it's awesome. You know, if I could, I would vote for you. I really, really would. If I could, you get my vote. That was beautiful. Not only did you destroy the entire argument of the Green New Deal, but you teabagged the Green New Deal and Alexandria ocasio-cortez in the process. That was beautiful. Really, I'm now your fan. Mike Lee, I'm your fan. And I only have but praises for what you did. That was epic. Well, this is the end of the video, so good night. Take care, my beautiful degenerates, and don't forget to downvote this video because, well, after all, production values suck and I suck. Toodles!